Welcome to the Inclusion of Special Populations Training 703 KAR 5:070. This is Module 2 of 8, and this one covers general conditions. So Module 2 of this training takes a look at the various accommodation conditions identified in the Inclusion of Special Populations Regulation. Now there are 13 conditions outlined in the regulation in total. For a comprehensive look into each condition, it would be best to consult the regulation. In this module, we would give a brief overview of each. So, in the notes section of this slide, there are specific comments made about conditions 1 through 7. You will also note the page location for each condition and where it can be found in the regulation. Now, please reference the regulation for information specific to these conditions. Now, the first condition is that the accommodation must be used routinely during instruction. Next, they should be transitional strategies and faded over time, if possible. 3, they cannot impact content validity. So remember, modifications are not okay on state testing. 4, they must be age appropriate and clearly described in the plan, whether it be an IEP, PSP, or 504 plan. Number 5, they must allow access to the general curriculum. Number 6, an important one, they must be based on individual need and not on a disability type. So you can't just say that every kid with dyslexia gets accommodations X, Y, and Z. It must be based on that individual student's needs. And 7, they should not be a substitute for high quality instruction. Moving along, there should be evaluation ongoing progress data to support the specific areas of need. Everything in an IEP, a 504, or PSP should be based on observable data. 9, they should not be introduced for testing purposes only. Moving along, there is caution about plan changes near testing. However, please note that it is not wrong to change a plan before testing or even during testing. There's just caution included in the regulation about that. Number 11, you should consider technology first if it's an option. Number 12, you should inform everyone about the student's needs. And number 13, changes in administration or recording of answers are consistent. So now we are moving along to check for understanding number 2. As always, I will read the question, do a brief pause, and then I will give the answer. So number 1, the notes to the slides of this training contain clarifying information. Where could you find a detailed breakdown of each condition for Part 2 of the Inclusion of Special Populations Training? Is it A, Regulation 5:070, page 49? Is it B, notes on slides 11 and 12? Is it C, Appendix P? Or is it D, both A and C? The answer to this question is B, the notes on slides 11 and 12. Number 2, a student's plan should never be changed near or during a testing window. Is this true or false? The answer to this question is false. A student's plan should be changed near or during a testing window if data supports it. However, there is caution about that it should be thoroughly detailed in the conference summary, and there should be data to back up any changes that are made. Number 3, an educational plan, IEP, 504, PSP, should always be based on a need and not a disability. Is this true or false? The answer to this question is true. So an educational plan should always be based on a need for the student and not the disability type. Number 4, why is it encouraged to fade an accommodation over time? Is it A, student independence? B, the plan is outdated? C, parent refusal? Or D, due process? The answer to this one is A, student independence. Remember, we cannot go into the workforce with our kids, or our students, and so we want to foster as much independence as we can. Number 5, changing a plan for testing purposes only is always wrong and can often lead to the student performing poorly on the test. Is this true or false? The answer to this question is that it is true. It is always wrong to change a plan for testing purposes only. So to review, in this module we discussed the general conditions surrounding accommodations. For further details on any specific conditions, please consult the regulation. This concludes Module 2, General Conditions, and you can move along now to Module 3, which is Section Specifics. As always, if you have any questions about this training or any other trainings that KDE produces, you can contact KDE DAC Information. You can reach us at dacinfo@education.ky.gov or 502-564-4394. Thanks.